If there's one thing that I like to do in Minecraft, it's building. And I really like to build big. While I've built several large buildings in this area, my ultimate goal is to turn this collection of buildings into a city. I have already added in some smaller structures to fill in the spaces in between, but we have so much more that needs to be done. So today, we are going to spend 100 days building a residential district in the city. We're going to be terraforming, we're going to be building roads, we're going to be building houses, and by the time we are finished, we will have completely transformed this section of the city. So let's get started. To keep track of the number of days that we are going to be spending doing this, we're going to go into the settings here, and for local difficulty, we're going to turn that so that it is always on. You're going to see in the top left corner the number of days. Right now we're on day 7,885, and we're going to be going to day 7,985, and you'll be able to see that as we go through because it's always going to be on. But 100 days is really equivalent to about 18 hours of playing time, and that means we are going to need to stay focused and be efficient with the building because there are a lot of different things that we have to do. We're going to start off by working on the terraforming, so let's head down into our storage area so that way we can get the materials for that. The good news is that I think I have just about all of the materials that we're going to need already, so we're not going to have to do a lot of material gathering in order to get this built. But we do have to go through our storage room and collect it all up. We now have everything here that we're going to be using. We've got dirt and grass, we've got a bunch of stone blocks, and we've got cobblestone and andesite. We're going to be starting with this terraforming on this side. We have a little bit that we're going to do on the other side of this structure, but this is our primary area. And what I want to do is be able to extend this terrain up so that it's at this level. We're going to move this cliffside around so that it surrounds this entire lake area, and then we're going to be able to build on top of it. So let's get to work. So we've got the terrain built up over here. We've got a villager who's checking it out. I think it's meeting with his approval, but the reason why I haven't filled in the grass on this level yet is because I want to first plan out the roads. We're going to probably have a road go from over here, going to come around here, and then meet up with our little market square. And we're going to do the same thing over on the other side, which you probably saw in the time lapse. So we've got this big open space here, and we're going to have another road that's going to lead out from over here. And I'm not sure that I'm going to connect it up with the road down here because there's just not a lot of space. So we probably will have that road come out here and maybe go off in this direction. But for the building that we're going to be doing today, we're going to do it in stages. So we've completed the first stage, which was getting the base layer of terraforming completed. Then we're going to go through and add in the roads and grass. Then we're going to add in some vegetation. And then finally, we're going to do the build. Or maybe we will do the builds and then the vegetation. But I need to get some things together before we can start building the roads. So let's get those. One block that I'm going to need that I don't have a lot of is cracked stone bricks. And fortunately, I've got a super smelter, so it shouldn't take too long to get them. We're going to need all of these as well as all of these. Let's turn that on and get that going, and it should be pretty fast. All right, so it's taken a few days to get it all together, but we have everything here that we're going to need. So obviously we've got the dirt and grass that we're going to be filling in, and then we've got stone here, which is going to be for the road. Stone bricks are all in these. Then we've got some stairs which go around the border of the road, and then we've got some miscellaneous blocks in here to just add a little bit of variety so that it's not just all gray. It's going to have a little bit of green in there as well. And while I'm trying to explain this, I can actually just show you exactly how the road's going to look because we have the perfect example right here. So let's get these roads built. All right, so from up here, you can see the roads that we built. So we've got this diagonal road that comes along here. It stretches around this corner over here, then connects up with the marketplace. In the distance, you can just about see the road that I built on that side. And then I've also added in roads over here. Now, these stone markers here that lay out where these buildings are, I've placed those before. We're going to be putting in buildings here. We're also going to be putting in buildings over on this side, and we're going to put some over on the other side of the marketplace. But if we take a look at our date counter, we're on day 7,908, which means that we spent about 23 days doing the terraforming and the road building, which puts us just about on track, I think. But we have a lot of building that we're going to need to be doing, and it's going to be close to see whether we're going to be able to finish it within the time frame that we have. We still got about 77 days left to go. We better get to it. Now, if you saw the shadow here and was wondering what that is, it's just our shulker boxes here. We got to get these collected up. I ended up getting way more resources than I actually needed. We've got so much extra, but we're going to be using that in other parts of the city, so it wasn't a waste. It's definitely going to be used. For these builds, we're going to need a lot of deep slate bricks. We also need to craft up a bunch of spruce planks and then turn those spruce planks into spruce slabs. We also need cyan terracotta, some gray wool, gray concrete powder, cyan wool, cyan concrete powder, nether brick slabs, dark prismarine, and some honeycomb blocks. It took quite a bit of time to go through and get all of the blocks crafted up, but we now have everything in these shulker boxes, and it is a lot of blocks. I think in total it's a little over 70,000 blocks, and you can see we've got a lot of different variety. And hopefully that will be enough for what we want to build. But based on how many blocks we have and the number of days that we have left, I think it's going to be close as to whether or not we're going to be able to get everything built before we run out of time. So we better not waste any more of it and get started building. took a little bit longer than expected, but we finally have all of the houses built, and check out this area. It's starting to feel like a proper city now. In total, I built 25 houses, and while the houses use similar block palettes and design features, no two houses are identical. When I built my medieval city, I came up with only 7 different designs for the houses and then just copied them over and over. But for this city, I'm not going to do that. Every house is going to be a unique shape, and after designing all of the houses we built today, I think I have a pretty good system down to be able to do that. It's going to take a bit more time, but in the end, I think it'll be worth it, especially when taking a look at the city as a whole. And I think the best part about getting all of these builds into place is just being able to walk through the streets and then just having these buildings frame up different spots so we can come around a corner and then look, it just opens up and there's our mob farm, there's our sugarcane farm. It's just perfect. And then we can go around this corner, and as we come up, we can look over here. We've got our nether tree farm over here. We've got our storage room over here. And it's so good to finally start to see this come together. But we're going to sleep now and end up on the 100th day. And we were able to do a lot of building in the 100 days here. We've got houses on both sides of our storage room. This area is feeling a little bit more enclosed, but since it took so long to get these houses built, there is one thing that I didn't get to do, and that was add in a bunch of the decorations that we're going to be putting in along the streets and in between the houses, because right now it does look a little bit sterile. I think we got to have some things along the sides of the street. I really want to add in a bunch of trees, sort of like what we did over by the wool farm. And I think that'll help this whole city come together. It was a pretty interesting challenge trying to get all of these houses built within 100 days. I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have all of the resources already collected. And one of the reasons why we're not going to go through and start adding in the decorations is because I need to get a bunch more of wood. Before I started building the houses, I had enough dark oak logs to fill up to about here, and I used all of those to craft up the dark oak fence gates that we were using in the build. And then you can see here, I used to have spruce wood that went up to here. I used all of that, as well as a row here. So this is definitely not going to be enough. So what I'm thinking that we're going to need to do is build a tree farm, and that will probably be something that I do pretty soon because we have lots of wood all over the place. This is where I've been putting in all of the dark oak fence gates, and that takes up a lot of wood to be able to craft those. We've also got dark oak wood planks to be able to go around the borders of the roofs that use the nether brick. And then I use a bunch of spruce slabs to create the floors inside the building. So having a wood farm is going to be extremely useful because of how much wood we're going to be using everywhere, but not today. That's going to have to wait till next time. For today, that is all we are going to do. We've spent 100 days building. Our city is looking a lot more complete. And if we fly up, we have done so much building today. We can just take a look at all of the houses behind me. They're looking so good, and this corner is starting to be filled in. But even though we built 25 houses, that is just one corner of the city. We've still got lots more to fill in the other 3 corners, and I've got some exciting plans for that. But until we get to that, thank you so much for watching. It's been great having you here. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until next time, see you later.